What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are going to be going through undefeated fighters in the UFC who lost their O. They are no longer undefeated as a result of this year. So I'm counting anyone who has fought in the UFC. So someone like Josiah Harrell, who made his debut, I'm still going to count him. Simply because, he is still in the UFC. He is a UFC fighter, and he lost his O in a UFC event. So I wouldn't be counting anyone who's, like if Muhammad Mokaev, he was a UFC fighter, if he lost his O and Brave or whatever, I wouldn't be counting that. But yeah, so moving on. Torrez Finney is the first one on the list. He lost his, where did he lose it at? Oh yeah, the first event of the card, UFC 325. He's 11-1 overall in his career. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He came in, he won a split decision over Robert Valtine, and then he lost to Jacob Malkoun via unanimous decision at UFC 325. He was a near odds favorite to win, and he just doesn't look good, man. He's able to hold people down. That's about it. Like, he is just a freak. Like, look at his physique. He's just a bit of a freak of nature. He was 3-0 on the Contender Series, and the UFC didn't sign him simply because he was so boring the first two times. And then he got a first round ground and pound finish, which is how he got in. But yeah, I don't think he's going to go very far. He's very boring, and I don't think the UFC likes him very much. They gave him Robert Valtine, and then they gave him Jacob Malkoun. Yeah, Jacob Malkoun 8-3, not a bad fighter. I quite like Jacob Malkoun, but again, just someone who holds down. So yeah, Torrez Finney's not going to get pushed very hard by the UFC, I don't believe, not unless he can really put on some stunner performances. Yadier Del Valle, he was the second one to lose his undefeated record. He lost his to Jordan Levitt at UFC Strickland vs Fernandez. He also lost by unanimous decision. He was a heavy favorite to win. He's 10-1 overall. He's 2-1 in the UFC now. He'd beaten Isaac Dolgarian. Who else did he beat? He beat Conor Matthews as well. He got 2 rear naked chokes. He got a unanimous decision win on the Contender Series. And then he just got controlled by Jordan Levitt for 3 rounds. I don't think he really won anything. Yeah, he didn't win a round. Jordan Levitt was 12-3 at the time. And yeah, just really controlled him for the whole round. And when someone like Joe Anderson Brito is able to sub Jordan Levitt after stinging him on the feet, really doesn't show much hope for Yadier Del Valle. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do too well. I don't think he's going to get into the top 15 or anything. But he's an alright fighter. Yeah, moving on. Josiah Harrell, 11-1 overall, 0-1 in the UFC. Came in on short notice, I believe, to fight Jacoby Smith, who's 11-0 at the time. Lost to him by TKO in the first round. Very nasty finish. He was a moderate underdog, which is the lowest odds of any undefeated fighter who lost their O this year. But yeah, this was a rough one for him. I believe he had a finish on the Contender Series. No, he did not. He was going to get into the UFC at one point, but he had some injuries, and then he's come back. He won like 4 in a row, I believe, and then he got this short notice offer to fight Jacoby Smith, and got very brutally finished. So that was quite unfortunate for him. I think the UFC are going to keep him around for a couple more fights. I think he could do all right, but yeah, that was not a good way to make his debut. Another person who lost in their debut via TKO in the first round, Luke Fernandez, 6-1 overall, 0-1 in the UFC. He lost to Rodolfo Bellato at UFC 326. He was a moderate favorite to win this. Coming in, he's looked very good on the regional scene. He had all finishes, I believe. All finishes. Oh no, he had a decision, but 4 first round finishes around to TKO as well. And yeah, just came in. He was 6-0. Rodolfo Bellato put him out in the first round. He did stun Rodolfo Bellato, but Rodolfo Bellato has a very good clinch game and just caught him in there and put him out. So I think he's a good prospect. I don't think he's too bad. He is fighting at light heavyweight, which is not the best of divisions. And Rodolfo Bellato, he's not the worst fighter. But yeah, Luke Fernandez, I think he can rebound. I think he can definitely get to the top 15 at light heavyweight. And he's not too bad for the loss. He is 30. He has got time to improve. So yeah, all right. Axel Sola, 11-1-1 overall. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He lost to Mason Jones, who was 17-2 via unanimous decision at UFC London, Evloev versus Murphy. This was a banger fight. They were near odds. They put on an absolute scrap for 3 rounds. Axel Sola, I believe, I gave him I gave him 1 round. What round was it? I think it was the first round. I think he won. But Mason Jones poured it on him. And yeah, honestly, not the worst loss to have. He's got an upcoming fight against Ismail Bonfim. We'll see if he can get that one done. I think he probably can. I think he's scrappy enough for it. I think he's very technical. He looked very good in that fight, even though he did, get outstruck. But yeah, Axel Sola, I don't mind him as a prospect. I quite like him. I'm not sure if he can get to the top 15 at lightweight. Probably not. I think he might be one of those guys who's just floating around the outside of the rankings for a while. But yeah, he looked pretty good in this fight. And before that, he got a win over Reese McKee, TKO in the 3rd round. So yeah, pretty alright win. Kurtis Campbell, this dude was high. He was a built-up prospect. Came over from, FCC. He had a lot of fights there. He was undefeated in the amateur. Oh no, he lost one on the amateur, but undefeated in his pro career up until this. Also lost on the UFC London card. He lost to Danny Silva via TKO in round 2. This was an interesting one. He's 8-1 overall, 0-1 in the UFC. He was a moderate favorite to win. He did well in the first round. He won the first round, very good grappling. But man, some of these UK fighters are so open on the back foot. They're so defensively irresponsible. And Danny Silva backed him up, got him against the cage, dropped him, finished him. Good win for Danny Silva. Kurtis Campbell, who's got some proving to do. I think he can definitely do all right in the UFC. I think he's top 15 material, but he needs to work on his defense. Definitely, because there's quite a lot of openings there. And finally, the last person to lose their undefeated record on the UFC London card was Lerone Murphy in the main event. 17-1-1 overall, 9-1-1 in the UFC. Majority of those were decisions. He had a couple of TKOs, 3 TKOs, Aaron Pico, Makwan Americani, and Ricardo Ramos. So not bad wins. He's been in the UFC since 2019, where he had a split draw against Zubari Tugogov. But yeah, he lost to Movsar Evloev, who's 20-0 via unanimous decision. He was a moderate underdog in this one. I picked him to win, and he looked all right in the first couple rounds. But yeah, I think he injured his hip, and Movsar kind of just controlled him in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. Yeah, Lerone Murphy, I think he'll be a top 5 guy for a while. He's just he does just enough to win in quite a few matchups, and he's not bad. He's a very technical striker. In 3-round fights, I reckon he can, get the W over quite a few people, winning those first 2 rounds, and then, maybe slowing down a bit in the 3rd. But yeah, this wasn't the best for him. This is a title eliminator. He lost that. Now he's number 3 or 4, I believe. And it looks like he's probably going to have a hard matchup in his next one. I don't think the UFC are going to, do him any favors because he's a bit of a boring fighter. So yeah, unfortunate for him, but oh well. Moving on, we have Mansur Abdul Malik, 9-1-1 overall, 3-1-1 in the UFC. Lost to Yusri Belgarui, who was 9-3 via TKO at Pfeiffer versus Adesanya. That was in the 3rd round. He got finished, but in the first 2, he didn't look that good at all, really. It wasn't like a comeback win for Yusri Belgarui. It was more of just a beatdown for him and breaking Mansur Abdul Malik, who was a slight favorite. But yeah, Mansur Abdul Malik, one of those guys the UFC built up. He got Nick Klein, he got Dusko Todorovic, he got Antonio Tricoli when he was on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC. He got Wes Schultz on the Contender Series. And he also got Cody Brundage, but that was overturned to a draw. I believe illegal shots? I'm not sure. But yeah, he's got an upcoming fight against Dustin Stoltzfus, who's 16-8. So they are really trying to build this guy up. And he's an athlete. He's a really good athlete, but I don't know if he's got that fighting ability in him. I don't think he's going to get to the top 15, especially because Yusri Belgararu is very good, but Mansur Abdul Malik kind of quit in there. And I don't like that look for him. So I'm not going to say he gets to the top 15. I think he's an alright dude, alright fighter, very good athlete, like I said, but I don't think he's built for the top 15. Speaking of, Guilherme Pat, 6-1 overall, 1-1 in the UFC. He lost to Thomas Peterson, who was 10-4 via unanimous decision at UFC Moicano Duncan. Near even odds this fight. Thomas Peterson kind of just rolled Guilherme Pat. Guilherme Pat threw like 6 significant strikes in round 1. And they were leg kicks, I believe. Guilherme Pat has very little output. He has that karate style. Thomas Peterson swarmed him in the second and third round, took him down, I believe dropped him in the third round, put a beating on him, nearly got the finish. But Guilherme Pat, very good athlete, very impressive. He is good. He is good. He beat Alan Fry Jr. by unanimous decision, who was an undefeated guy as well. He's fighting Stephen Ashplund. And I feel like he's going to get swarmed again and put out. Like, oh, this is really unfortunate. But he just does not have the output to win against some of these more active heavyweights. And I don't know if he's looking for counters or whatever. But he needs to do more. He needs to be on the offensive. He needs to be throwing things like head kicks, body kicks. Mix it up. Throw some side kicks, maybe. He didn't gas out in this fight because he threw like 18 strikes in 3 rounds. He didn't gas out, but he did get caught, and he just showed he wasn't willing to throw. So yeah, I don't think Guilherme Pat's going to do too much in the UFC. I think he's probably going to win and lose in the heavyweight division. Against some guys who are blobs, he can maybe, stuff the takedowns, throw the leg kicks, win with by barely outstriking them. But against these guys who are willing to go in and throw, I think he's going to lose. I don't know if his chin's going to hold up either, because he got very wobbled by Thomas Peterson. So yeah, not the best prospect. Rafael Estevam. This dude fought at flyweight. He missed weight a couple times, I believe. He missed weight against Charles Johnson. He missed it against Evan Ewing, as well as Felipe Bunez. He was a good flyweight. He moved up to bantamweight to fight Evan Ewing, and Evan Ewing put a beating on him. Finished him in the third round, stuffed all of his takedowns, outclassed him on the feet. He was 14-1 overall. He's 3-1 in the UFC. I think he's a top 15 level guy. I don't think he's too bad. He was at near even odds in this one, so not like a huge upset loss for him. But yeah, he's top 15 level, definitely. If he can make weight at flyweight, I think he's very good down there. Bantamweight, he might have a little bit more trouble, especially getting out physicality by some of those bigger bantamweights. But yeah, I think he's an alright prospect. He's got a bit of hype behind him, I believe. I think quite a few people, quite like this dude. But yeah, not quite sure where he's going to go in the UFC. Azamat Murzakanov. This dude, 16-1 overall, 6-1 in the UFC, just lost to Paulo Costa via TKO in the third round, I believe it was. Yeah, third round at UFC 327. He was a moderate favourite to win that one. Paulo Costa was moving up from middleweight, hadn't looked the best recently, apart from his win over Roman Kopylov. But Azamat Murzakanov, he's just too old. Is he 40? No, he's 37. He's making his run too late. He put out, Tafa Nachukwu, put out Devin Clark, Alonzo Menifield, Brenton Ribeiro, Alexander Rakic, won a decision over Dustin Jacoby, and then lost to Paulo Costa. But, yeah, he's just too old and too slow. and if he finds that power shot, he'll put them out. But yeah, no, I don't think Azamat Murzakanov is going to become a champ. I think he's definitely a top 10 dude. I don't know if he'll get to the top 5. He's a bit inactive too, I believe. Yeah, often fights twice a year at the most. But yeah, I think he's definitely, it's light heavyweight, so it's not the, deepest talent pool. So I think he's definitely got a, chance to hang around in the top 10 for a while, like Alonzo Menifield has done in the top 15 area. But yeah, I just don't see him getting to the title. Don't really see him being a top 3 guy either. I don't think he's going to be around for much longer, especially if he loses another one. He doesn't have a fight booked at the moment, and he lost back in April. So he's definitely taken a lot of time out for someone who's already 37. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. But someone who probably will look pretty good is Khamzat Chimaev. 15-1 overall, 9-1 in the UFC. Came in during the COVID era. Absolutely mauled several guys back to back to back. John Phillips, Reese McKee, Gerald Meerschaert. Put them all out very easily. And yeah, Khamzat looks very good. Very dominant against Dricus du Plessis. Very boring fight, but very dominant win. Lost to Sean Strickland via split decision. I think it was a clear Strickland win. If I'm being honest, I don't think it should have been split. I think it should have been unanimous. He was a heavy favourite to win that one, though. I believe it was like plus 500 odds for him to win. No, 400. But, yeah. I don't know what's next for Khamzat. He was talking about moving to light heavyweight, then he was talking about wanting the rematch with Sean Strickland. I don't think he deserves the rematch at all. And if he does move up to light heavyweight, I don't know how he does, man. Light heavyweight doesn't have the best grapplers. I think Yuri could beat Khamzat. If I'm being honest, Yuri against Glover was a very impressive performance in the grappling department by Yuri, especially in that last round when it was rough and he pulled through and it was exhausted. And I don't know if Khamzat has the gas to keep up with people. Maybe he does it like heavyweight, but yeah, he's looked very tired in some of his fights. Kamaru Usman, when he wrestled back against him, he had a very hard time there. Robert Whittaker finished him in the first round. Dricus du Plessis had success in the 5th round after being held down for 4. JDM never had success against Islam in any moment in that fight. Islam controlled him all 5 rounds. Khamzat had trouble in the 5th. That's a little worrying to me, that he can have such an easy fight and still get gassed in the 5th round. So, I don't know who his next opponent's going to be at middleweight. I want to say give him someone like Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's got a good ground game. Prove it. He has got a good ground game. Prove it against Khamzat. He didn't look like he had a good ground game against Edmund Shabazian. And can he make it dirty in the clinch to win a decision? So I think Khamzat Chimaev will definitely get back to that a title shot. Whether it's at middleweight or light heavyweight, I'm sure. But yeah. I don't know if he wins in a rematch against Strickland, which is kind of crazy to say. Artur Minev. Artur Minev is from... is he from Uzbekistan? He's from Ukraine, sorry. He lost to Tommy Gant, 2nd round TKO on Allen versus Costa. He was a slight underdog in that fight for a reason. Tommy Gant's a very good wrestler. Held him against the cage, held him down for basically the whole 1st round. 2nd round did the same thing, broke him down and then finished him. Artur Minev, 7-1 overall, 0-1 in the UFC. He has a lot of finishes, but he was kind of just beating kind of cans, really. Like 8-18, 0-3, 2-1, 0-0, 4-1, 25-12, 20-13. And he was having brawls with them, and he was making it look hard sometimes. I don't think Artur Minev is going to last very long in the UFC. I don't think he's going to do too much in the UFC. He might get some fluke finishes if people are willing to scrap with him. But if anyone wants to take him down, I think he's a pretty easy target on the ground, if I'm being honest. Tommy Gant didn't look for any submissions or anything. He just looked for ground and pound. I think someone could probably sub him with a rear naked choke or maybe a mounted arm triangle. But yeah, I don't think Artur Minev has much of a future in the UFC, if I'm being honest. But someone who does is the next undefeated fighter who lost their O, Santiago Luna. I fucked up. He's 8-1 overall, not 8-0. He's 2-1 in the UFC. He lost to Bryce Mitchell, 18-3 via submission in the third round at UFC Muhammad versus Bonfim. Near even odds in this one. He filled in on short notice. I believe it was like a week or two. And this was a very good fight for him, if I'm being honest, because he looked very impressive. His bottom game was very good. I believe he hit a reversal on Bryce at one point, or Bryce reversed him. But he was very busy off his back. He was not in much danger for the first 2 rounds. And then he still looked decent on the feet, but in the third round he kind of got broken. And I think he builds back from that. The third round, Bryce did kind of break him, got him down, got the arm triangle in the last 10 seconds, I believe it was. And Santiago Luna, honestly, that would have been a close decision. He did a lot of damage off his back. He could have won the first round. Second round was close. Third round was definitely Bryce's, but if it had gone to the judges, I think it could have been a split decision, could have been unanimous. I think Santiago Luna looks very good on the feet, and he has a very good ground game. Most of his early wins came from submission. Yeah, he had 3 rear naked chokes in a row. Got a TKO, then got another sub, and then kind of TKO'd people. Yeah, I think Santiago Luna has a very good future in the UFC. And Bryce Mitchell's a hard test. Bryce Mitchell is a very hard test for someone kind of inexperienced in Santiago Luna. He's very young, that too. He's only 21. He's going to build from here. I think he takes a little bit of time off. Doesn't take a short notice fight. Needs a full camp on the next one. I think full camp, he maybe beats Bryce Mitchell. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I think he could have beaten Bryce Mitchell if he was on a full camp. And I like Bryce Mitchell. I picked him to win this one. So yeah, I think Santiago Luna, definitely a good prospect in the UFC. Definitely a top 10 guy. Well, we need to see more, but I think he could maybe get to the top 5. Maybe. It is bantamweight, bit of a hard division. But I think he can beat some of those guys. I would pick him to beat Vera. I would pick him to beat Vera at this point in his career. I think he would beat Vera. Not that there's a lot of people who couldn't, but yeah. The biggest loss this year for undefeated fighters, Ilia Topuria, now 17-1, 9-1 in the UFC, lost to Gaethje at the UFC Freedom 250 card, corner stoppage. Oh, he was a heavy favorite to win this one. He had a very bad game plan coming into this fight. I don't know what he was doing. The way he was so confident. He just walked right at Gaethje, got popped with the jabs. I think his orbital was broken in like the first 5 jabs Gaethje threw. But he did not have a good game plan in this one. Nearly finished Gaethje in the second. If he'd stood up instead of going for dumb fucking submissions, I think he would have gotten the finish. I think he would have finished him with body shots, but Gaethje just put it on him in that third and fourth round. Ilia could barely see. They nearly called the fight at the end of the third. Real beatdown by Justin Gaethje. Ilia's going to bounce back. I think he needs to take some time off, definitely a lot of time off. Fight the winner of BSD versus Paddy Pimblett, and then he's right back there in that title picture. He doesn't deserve an immediate rematch. But yeah, he definitely, if he fights the winner of Pimblett versus BSD, that'll be a great win. Get him back into that title picture. And like his wins, he's got wins over Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway, both at the top of the lightweight division. So yeah, I think El Matador will be back. If he has the right game plan, I think he could definitely beat the Justin Gaethje that we saw. Yeah, it was quite painful to watch. Watching that first round, I did not have a lot of hope for Ilia. But, hey, he still outstruck Justin Gaethje, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah. Ilia will get champ again. I think this loss is good for his ego. It's going to make him fight a lot smarter. But yeah, this was an upset and a half. Finally, the last undefeated fighter who lost their O. This was very recent. This was last weekend. Andre Lima, 11-1 overall now, 4-1 in the UFC. He lost to Kevin Borjas via unanimous decision at UFC Cap versus Horiguchi. He was a huge favorite. I believe, was it 7? Yes, he was a minus 770 favorite to win this one. And oh my God, he's just so stupid. He did not throw anywhere near enough strikes to win this one. It reminded me of the Mitch Raposo fight, because the Mitch Raposo fight was split decision. He did not throw enough. Mitch Raposo was really had that, Mitch Raposo, he's got that fast blitz, good output. He did not have enough output in this fight. He was just throwing one strike. He didn't throw in combination. Didn't try and back he had Kevin Borjas up against the cage. Didn't try and, tee off. He just threw body kicks at range, threw leg kicks. Did not enough to win the fight at all. The second round, there was an accidental nut shot where he hit Kevin Borjas in the nuts. Borjas recovered, came back in. And then in the third round, he grabbed the cage. I believe it was 6 times he grabbed the cage, which is insane. I don't know how he got away with that, but he was just grabbing the cage, and I was very unimpressed with his performance here. Like, a lot of people had him really hyped up. He was going to be this new monster in the UFC, but yeah, I don't even know if he makes the top 10 now. I think he needs to really work on combination shots and more output, because he was just throwing basically nothing, and he needed a finish in that third round, and he was unable to get it. And Borjas snuck away with a win over a great contender. And Borjas was 1-4 in his last 5 fights in the UFC. So yeah, this was a really bad loss for Andre Lima, but he's 27. He can definitely build, and he just needs to be a little less gun shy, if I'm being honest. So yeah. So that was it. So we've had 20 UFC events this year. Of those, 16 fighters lost their undefeated record. 2 of them were champions. 2 were ranked in the top 15. Lerone Murphy, Azamat Murzakanov, and then Khamzat and Ilia were the champs. 5 had near even odds to win. 1 was a slight favorite. 1 was a slight underdog. 2 were moderate underdogs. 3 were moderate favorites. 3 were heavy favorites, and 1 was a huge favorite. That was Andre Lima. So yeah, interesting year for undefeated fighters. There's a lot of them who have gone so far. There's a few more who are putting their undefeated status on the line later on in the upcoming events. And I'm going to make another video of the undefeated fighters who have defended their O this year. So make sure you subscribe so you can catch that when it comes out. But let me know what you think. Let me know what was the biggest upset to you. Let me know who you thought was going to lose their O. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And yeah, see you in the next one.